Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Pi Records, and I'm here with the guys from the Lucky Odds. How are you guys?
Good.
We are good.
Awesome.
A little stuffy. So if you hear me coughing occasionally and stuff, I apologize. I'm kind of getting over being sick, and coughing on audio is kind of disgusting. But I'm gonna blame it on Clay. He got too close to me one night, and
Oh, just one night.
well, yeah, all right, fair enough.
So let's start off by introducing yourselves and what instruments you play.
Well, I'm Clayton James. I play the drums, and I'm also I try to be the lead singer, and I drive the bus sometimes. That's about all I do.
I am JD. I play the bass, and I make sure Clayton doesn't fall asleep when he's driving the bus.
Hey, have you been able to get in that bus lately?
No.
No.
Just man, this COVID just wrecked everything. It's been hard to do pretty much anything. So it's one of those things where like we're trying to get back out there. We've got something coming up in Lubbock, or not Lubbock. Where is it?
Luckenbach.
Luckenbach.
Yeah, it's a car show, Luckenrad in Luckenbach. Yeah, we did some shows last fall. Things kind of opened up a little bit. We did some shows, and then just circumstances, and it was nice to be out there, but it was kind of weird. Obviously this whole pandemic's affected everybody. We're by no means the only ones who got kicked in the nuts by this, but we've really just we've been recording more. We've got a bunch of songs, actually a whole bunch of songs in different aspects of production right now, from bare bones to almost finished. So and a couple months ago, we go like 2 songs, and so we've still been working. We just haven't been playing live. We've still been writing, recording, working
Awesome.
on that. So having that option has been really nice. It hasn't left us completely stagnant and feeling like we're not doing anything. Clay and I get together just about every week, at least once a week, just to even just listen back on what we did the week before and be like, oh, good God, no, let's not, just to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, awesome.
But no. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I'll just keep talking and saying the same thing over and over again. So at some point, stop me. So.
Were you working on these songs before quarantine, or was this like something that you like said, okay, now we have time to do this?
A lot of it is like, it's now we'd have time to do these things. But yeah, some of these songs are just, a couple of them were just, the lyrics were just written down on a piece of paper, and we just started working on them. Jeff's real good about coming up with, this is what I think it should sound like, and he'll throw me a scratch track, and we'll start working on it from there, and we just kind of build on it, and before long, it comes full circle, and it gets completed. And we even surprise ourselves sometimes. I hate to say it, I hate pat myself on the back or whatever, but we surprise ourselves sometimes because we do stuff in the studio. We're like, yes, like it's awesome, But like Jeff said, there's other times we do something once, we're like, okay, delete. We never talk about it ever again. It's in the past. We're not gonna do that again,
It's the benefit, because I say we're doing it all ourselves, but really Clay's doing most of the engineering aspect of it. But since we are doing it ourselves, we have that luxury. We have the luxury of time. We have the luxury of experimentation, which is nice too. I've said this recently. I've realized, I've been playing in band almost my whole life now, and this is probably the healthiest relationship I have with recording ever. Just because it's not a time crunch. It's not a budget crunch. We can just kind of do what we want when we want. And it's been kind of fun. And I don't know, I never disliked it before, but it was always the means to an end. It's like, well, record it, get it out, let's go play some live shows.
Yeah.
And when you take live shows away, all that's left is recording. So we've really kind of hunkered down, and we've tried some things, and some things, yeah, it didn't work, but I'm glad we tried them. You know, like there's nothing worse than 2 years down the road listening back and being like, what if we had done that one idea I had? Would that have sounded better? So that whole thing's been nice. That we just kind of have that control. Now, in that, we drag our feet sometimes too, and things take longer than maybe they should. But you know, it's not a race. There's no time limit on it.
The first thing I heard from you guys was Jinkies. What between then and now, what releases have you had out there that you might want to talk about?
Right. The first thing we released was a 5-song EP. We did some live things here and there. Just they were kind of like stopgap things, you know, like straight off the board. But the first thing we actually really recorded was a 5-song EP called 5 to 1. And that was cool. That we did that in, I think, a weekend. You know, we just kind of bashed it out real quick. And then a couple years later, we did a full-length record called True Stories, 13 songs on that. And then just this spring, we put out the single, the Your Mama Don't Like Me Much, backed with Rever Up. So those are the ones that are out there right now. We have, hopefully in another month or so, we'll have maybe another single or a small EP coming out. It kind of, once some of these songs get a little more finished, we'll sort of know what to do with them and where to put them. You know, we've got some friends coming in to play some stuff on some of them, and so until that gets done, we don't know, like, will this song go good with this one or whatever. It's, you kind of need to see where things, kind of like Clay said, we come in with this idea, and then as we add to it, they sort of take on a life of their own, and then we sort of figure it out from there. So those are the things that are out there, and then hopefully we'll have 1 or 2 releases before the end of the year, and then there'll probably be something, you know, early next year too. So we're just gonna keep doing that.
Is that something you're gonna you've like put all these out yourself?
Yes. Yeah.
And what do you find is the best way to get a reaction or kind of reach your audience or expand your audience? What are some of the techniques you use to market yourselves? I know as a DIY band, you have to carry all the weight of record label,
Right.
booking your gigs, promoting yourself. Tell me about what that part of it's like.
It sucks. No, like I suck at it. Yeah, it's, you know, you rely on social media, but I also feel like I rely on it too much. You know, I don't do enough legwork. I feel like a lot of people are like that anymore, like clubs, venues, like bands. We all just rely, we put it on Facebook, we put it on Instagram. Yeah, but what did you know, back in the day, you know, like you have a show, I made a Facebook thing for it. Back in the day, you used to go and, you know, put flyers all over the place and stuff like that. But I'll be honest, even then I hated doing that. It's like one part of it I just have never been comfortable doing. I'll call places up. I'm rarely call places now, but, you know, text or email them now to book shows. But I mean, I used to call places. I used to do all that, but actually going out and doing the promotion part, I've never been good at. I suck at. So if anybody wants to contact us and give us advice on how to do it better, we're always game for that, because I don't think I do a very good job on it. You know, like I just post stuff on the internets and hope people find it. You know, you have your little groups that, you know, you maybe post it to, but I don't know. I feel like we could do so much more, yet I don't know what or how.
Well, and then before the pandemic, a lot, like if you wanted to say you wanted to sell your music, okay, well, let's have a live show. So the more people were at the live show, the more they would hear your songs, so they'd buy your music, and it was like, you know, like a snowball.
Yeah.
But since it took away the live show thing, it's harder. It's a lot harder. And like JD said, it's like sometimes it's just hard. It's hard to, because I suck at it as well. You tell everybody about it, but it's one of those things that people are like, yeah, every time we see you, that's all you talk about is your band. I'm like, sorry, that's, I'm trying to promote my band, but yeah, hopefully things will just still ease up. I thought they would have eased up by now, but who knows? We might be in this for the long haul. So it's good that we still have creative outlet in the studio, and hopefully, like I said, we'll get back out there, and then we can start. More people that hear our music, more people that buy our music. The more they buy them, the more they hear it, and then again, it starts snowballing to where you have like a decent following.
And Ryan, it's why we appreciate like you doing what you're doing, because you're giving us kind of this this opportunity. So thank you, because we're obviously not good at it. So you helping us is a huge help. It hopefully maybe a few people that listen to you have never heard of us, and if one or two of them likes us, hey, that's awesome. That's a couple people that didn't know of us before. So it's every little thing helps. We don't have some big master plan. I know some bands do. Some bands are really good at it, or they have that guy or that girl or that person that's really good at it. And Clay and I are good at certain things, but neither of us are that person.
Right.
Dude, I know of a guy you should check out, so you should write this down so that I don't forget to remind you. His name's Del Littlejohn from the Hurricanes.
Okay.
They're out of Scotland. He just started a rockabilly label called Always a Hit Records. He's great with promotion. He puts out rockabilly, but he's also great with promotions. He's a really super cool guy. And I've interviewed other bands on his label, and they're all really cool. Like the Barn Twisters, the Broadway Twisters, guys who are from Europe, but have great stories as well. I don't think he's just limiting himself to helping European bands, because a lot of people know who he is over here. But I would definitely message him and tell him that we met on the podcast, and if you want him to listen to your music, maybe help you out, I'm sure he'd be happy to, because he's really trying to build this label right now.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about how this is something that maybe some of our listeners won't understand or don't know. The culture for the rockabilly or greaser, it goes hand in hand with car shows, like tattoos, hot rods, of course, music, street racing, all that stuff. Tell me a little bit about where that culture fits into your lives.
Clayton?
I grew up in it. My dad's a hot rodder. Has been ever since I was a little kid. So I remember, being in the garage with him and his hot rod buddies, and they're, sitting there drinking beer and having a good time. And we're talking about fantastic cars, and so it's kind of in my blood. I mean, as my straight job, I'm a mechanic. I mean, it's something that it's a part of who I am. So to me, it just seems like the music is just a natural extension of what I am, and it just feels natural to me. I would feel different playing anything else, because it wouldn't feel right. I would feel like a poser, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I would feel like this is not me. So I'm glad that I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm glad that I have a partner in JD that is with me there doing it, because I mean, honestly, this guy could be playing in any band, and the fact that he hangs out with me, that's amazing, because yeah, I'm kind of a loser. No, but it's just fun. Like I said, it fits hand in hand with who I am. So I can't imagine doing anything else.
Awesome, awesome. What about you, JD?
I come to the car stuff a little more as a spectator. I appreciate it. I appreciate the aesthetics and all that, but I'm not a grease monkey. I appreciate it, and I like that Clay is, because when we have car trouble, he's there to help. He's come to my rescue on more than one occasion. But it does, it goes hand in hand. I mean, we both over the years prior to this band played in different types of bands. I know for me, and talking to him over the years, this is the kind of stuff we always wanted to do. Not that we didn't like what we were doing in those other bands, but I loved some of those bands, but I also always still wanted to be in a rockabilly band. So when the opportunity came up, we're a little older. It's like, well, what do I want to do? Not what can I do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do for the next 20 years? Whatever, I want to play rockabilly. Like that's what I want to do from here on out. I don't. So, when I was actually living so Clay and I have been doing this almost 10 years now. I was living in Arizona, and I moved here 10 years ago, almost to the day, I think.
For San Antonio.
Yes.
Yeah.
He put an ad in Craigslist looking for a bass player. So I found out while I was still in Arizona and kind of contacted him. So we were going back and forth. So I moved here and we kind of started up right away. But it was that thing of like, he wants to put a rockabilly band together. That's what I want to do. I want to play rockabilly. It's just, it from back in, my early teenage years, it just clicked. It just checks off all the things I like about rock and roll. From the sheer aesthetics of it to just the bare bones minimalist rock and roll aspect. You can add stuff to it, but when it's just bass, drums, and guitar, it still rocks. You don't need all that other stuff. It's just the simplicity and bare bonesness, and it still kicks ass. And that to me is appealing. So you wrap all that up, and the car thing is part of it. And we love playing car shows. We fit great with car shows. They're always fun to do because it's our people. Like you're not rolling into some town and playing with some indie rock band. Like, oh God, are these people even going to get what we're doing? People at car shows who have never heard us know exactly what we're doing. So
That's awesome.
That's always a really nice symbiotic relationship. The car folks and us, and probably a third of our songs are about cars anyway, or they're really about girls, but we talk about cars, but it's whatever girls in cars. That's our world. So it's a good place to be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So one of the things I liked about Jinkies was the and your EP was that it had a very clean, distinct sound. Like you were saying, it's bare bones, but it's still it's a very striking sound, very clean. Is that something you go for, like precision wise?
Clay?
Yeah, I'm going for basically what I hear in my head, and like I said, we work on things and we're like, no, we're never gonna do that again. Or sometimes we work on things or like, that sounds amazing. Yeah, the clean sound, I've never been after like the heavy overdrive or I always wanted to keep it, really clean drums and really good guitar with some slapback on it. And of course, an awesome bass line that you can just kind of tap your foot along to. And it's a style thing, but it's also, I think it's just one of those things that I just hear. And sometimes it sounds good and sometimes it doesn't, and I'm not saying that I won't add a tube screamer to something, or I won't, get some real distorted vocals on something. I'll do it, just to have fun. But it's always been trying to keep true to like a 50s sound, like a mid-century sound, but that was kind of modern, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's what I've always been trying to go for. And I have a lot of influences. So, and those influences sink into your music. You can't help
Yeah.
it, you know, and sometimes you'll hear it. Sometimes you'll hear a certain something. You're like, oh, that came from such and such song. It happens, you know, we
Yeah.
kind of all borrow and steal from each other, you know.
We always say we're not a traditional rockabilly band. Not that there's anything wrong with being traditional. It's just not who we are, who we want to be. Like that is our roots and our foundation, but we're not trying to get the exact sound. You know, we grew up listening to all kinds of stuff, and that stuff's going to seep in. It would almost be hard to stop it from seeping in, and we want it to kind of seep in, and sort of a, you know, so call it neo rockabilly, call it whatever anybody wants. I mean, it's just us. It's just what we want to bring to the table. We want to be ourselves within this music. And I think some of that comes across or we attempt to have that come across in the recordings. Like, we don't want it to sound ultra modern, but we're not trying so hard to make it sound like it's came out in 1955. You know,
Right.
we're going to use modern technology, give it hopefully a somewhat timeless feel and sound to it, but not overly do it where where it's super traditional sounding.
Well,
I don't mean to beat up on everybody who does traditional stuff, because I love it, but it's not what we're interested in doing.
I think the same could be said for a lot of other genres of music like punk, surf, hardcore. There within those genres, there's subgenres that you can very much see, like say an influence in rockabilly, but also the influences of the band, of each members of the band, which makes them sound totally unique, but still a part of the whole. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's, you know, Clay and I have a lot of mutual, you know, likes when it comes to music, but we come from some different places too. Or I like some of the stuff he likes, but I like some of this stuff better. He likes some of that, but he likes what he likes better. So it all seeps in though. And I want it to, you know, if I'm whatever, if we're writing a song, I want my influence to come out as much as I want Clay's influence to come out. Like I don't want anybody to be, you know, or the guitar player's influence to come out. I don't want anybody to be overly handicapped of like, no, you have to play, you know, you have to play it exactly like, you know, like Cliff Gallup or Scotty Moore or something like that, which if you can do, awesome. But at the same time, I want you, you know, I mean, I love Scotty Moore. I've read stuff where Scotty Moore was trying to do Chet Atkins and he failed, but his failure became his own distinctive, really cool
his sound. Yeah.
You know, and that's the cool thing. It became his thing while attempting to do somebody else. And it's kind of what we hope we all bring. I mean, I think that's what most musicians are trying to do when they're in a band is, you know, you want to bring at least some of yourself into it. But then also knowing when to back off and be like, you know what, this song needs maybe a little bit less of me and, you know, a little more restraint too. It's a nice thing about being in so it's a weird thing. One, it's a 3-piece, so it's very limited. And then we're in kind of a niche band, kind of limited. But all those limitations force us in a way to be more creative because we can't do anything. So what can we do within these confines? And, you know, you can push and pull it a little bit here and there, but you still have to kind of stay true. We're not all going to, you know, all of a sudden going to have like synthesizers and do like 17-minute, you know, yes epics or anything like that. So you keep it within these confines, but you don't want to do the same drum beat over and over again. You don't want to do the same walking bass line over, you know, you don't want to do the same guitar lick over again. So you got to kind of find these ways to make it all creative and all slightly different while still being true at all. And I think that's where the other influences come into play. It's like, oh, I didn't even realize I just pulled this from, you know, from some Clash song or, you know, or wow, I kind of got that idea from Big Star or, you know, like really pulling it from all over. anywhere, or like wow, that kind of has like a whatever, like almost a Leonard Skinner thing there. Like who knows, and who cares as long as it fits the song.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to just keep rambling. So somebody feel free to cut.
So something you mentioned before the interview that that kind of caught my ear was your relationship with the Phantomatics.
Yes, good friends.
I think they're great. I kind of stumbled onto them by accident, but since you know these guys, tell me a little bit about your relationship with them and how you play with them. Maybe how your bands play out together. What is your relationship with them?
Well, we've done shows with them for years now. Actually, our first show with them was really probably one of our first shows. We kind of got asked to do this whole St. Patty's Day thing. You remember that? It was like that outdoor thing. We needed two other bands. Yeah, we needed two other bands because we didn't have nearly enough material yet. So, you're looking online, you're kind of like seeing who's out there, listening. I'm like, that's really cool. So I contacted them. So they did that show with us. We kind of got to know them then. And then, it's one of those things you bring a band into a show, then they start bringing you into a show. You start kind of trading shows. And
yeah.
When a club asks you to do a show, who do you want to do it? Well, you want to do it with these guys, and the styles are different but similar enough. It's nobody's going to be bored because it's like, oh, it's all the same style of music. But if somebody likes them, there's a good chance they're going to like us. And if somebody likes us, there's a good chance they're going to like them. So it's you put, I mean, they're sort of, I think they call it, but I definitely call them spooky surf. It's a lot of minor chord kind of surf stuff. But the surf and the rockabilly, it fits really nice together, and just good guys. I mean, like I mentioned, it was quite a few years ago now, but like for one summer, for a few months, I filled in on bass for them, and that was really fun. I hadn't done that in a while. I hadn't just been the bass player, so it was kind of nice. I just had to learn these few songs and show up, play, and be done. But they were good. They were really easy to work with, and it was fun. And we don't see them much now. They're not playing much now either. I think Joe said something about maybe they were going to start recording soon again, which would be cool. So I know they have stuff that I don't believe they recorded. I kind of remember even playing some stuff with them that they were talking about eventually doing. But yeah, just good guys. A lot of fun to play with. San Antonio, it's like a big little city. It's a little big city. I don't know, whichever way you want to do it. It's I think like any place, there's certain circles of music, and there's bands that I've probably never heard of in this town because we play different venues, different crowds, whatever. But then within your circle, you get to know some of them, and when you like the bands and you actually like the people, you kind of gravitate towards them, and those are definitely those guys for us. There's definitely a handful of others. Like we enjoy playing with those bands and or whatever when we can play. But yeah, so cheers to those guys. Phantomatics, listen.
Awesome. Well, but before we wrap up, I just want to give you an opportunity to talk about anything coming up, whether it's shows or when you think your new music will be out, anything I left out that we didn't get to talk about.
We've got about 5 or 6 songs in different stages of being done. So I think we're going to be releasing something pretty soon. I say within the next month or two. And then, like I said earlier, Lukenbach, Lukenrod. When was Jeff? What's the date on that one?
It's Lukenrod Car Show. It's in Lukenbach, Texas. It is on Saturday, September 11th. It's I don't know the entire. Well, I know the 2 other bands that are playing, which is actually pretty badass. So it's Brian and the Blackouts. So it's Brian Duarte's band, and then us, and then 2 Tons of Steel, which are kind of they're sort of legends around here. So I don't know if there's another band but we're definitely stoked to be playing with both those bands. We did Lukenrod a couple years ago, and it was a lot of fun. And you know, Lukenbach is just kind of it's just a great little, we'll call it a town. It's a great little town. You know?
Population of 3 or something like that.
Yeah, you know, but everybody's somebody in Lukenbach.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be a car show, so you know, it's just going to be a good time. And you know, the folks that put it on, P Events, always just do a great job. So we're looking forward to that. That's the only show we have on the books. Our great friend Jason Trevino is going to be sitting in on guitar with us. He did some guitar tracks for us for some of the songs that are coming out. Super easy to work with. Just came in and nailed that stuff. So looking forward to playing, but I'm looking forward to playing with him too. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, like Clay said, probably in the next couple months, and then hopefully a couple months after that, and a couple months after that, you know, we'll keep releasing some stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of keep doing that. So I have a question for you, Ron. You're in Pottstown, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
It's
I'm
right,
originally from.
right outside of Philly.
Oh yeah, no, I've been. I'm actually originally from Center Valley.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, like Coopersburg, Center Valley. Yeah, I'm originally from there. So I mean, I've been down to I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have family up in that area and stuff like that. But yeah, it was crazy when I'm like Pottstown. I'm like, no way, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually originally from north of Allentown. So I'm
Where? I'm sorry.
from north of Allentown,
Where?
Palmerton.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a really, really
Yeah, I
small
mean-
town. The only thing they're known for is the ski area, the ski resort. But
Yeah,
that's where
No,
I'm
I mean,
from.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I played in a band in the Lehigh Valley for years.
Yeah.
And our guitar player was from Palmerton.
Oh, what
So,
was his name?
Yeah. I mean, Don Andrews.
Oh, there's a lot of Andrews.
Yeah.
Oh, that I don't know. How
Yeah,
old
but
would
we
he
used
be?
to 52, 53.
Yeah, that might be why. I'm only 48, so it might be a couple years difference there.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, we used to play all around it. You know, I mean, like do you ever go to the Fun House in Bethlehem?
Yep.
Yeah, that for years, we were the third Friday of every month band.
Awesome.
Tina always had, like, her Fridays were the same bands every month. And
Okay.
yeah, for like 6-7 years, we were the third Friday of every month.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just whatever, just kind of have to you can cut all this crap out. Nobody's going to care about that. But because we're supposed to be a Texas band, and here I'm talking about Pennsylvania. But,
No, it's totally cool. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap this up before
Yeah.
we get cut off. I only have 3 minutes left in the session. But I want to thank you so much. I really enjoyed our talk. I know it sounds like the obligatory thank you, but I really enjoy hearing your story. I mean, how you got together, and just your passion behind it. And it's pretty obvious in your music that there's a lot going on. It's not just 3-chord rock.
well, thank you for giving us this opportunity. You know, like we've admitted, we sort of suck at the promotional aspect. So things like this, giving us this platform, we really appreciate it. You know, we can't do it without help from folks like you, because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know what I'm doing either.
Oh, we're in trouble.
At least we're all in this together then.
All right, guys, you have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Cheers, brother.